In this tutorial, I'm going to recreate this. It's a like basic pie chart with some information. And I also added some interactivity, so we can go inside and click one of the like slices, and it will like move the slice and increase the text and the label. First, you need to download some data. You can also use yours, but you can use mine to start. You can go in my GitLab repository. I will share the link. Then you go inside the classic plots and then pie chart. And you need to download this CSV file. It's just very basic. It's just like energy consumption in Europe in 2024 and like the share in percentage. So download it and so we can start. Let's open a TouchDesigner project from scratch. I will get rid of everything. And we can start opening the data we have downloaded. So I will add a table dot. And then in file, go into the file you have downloaded. So it's going to be in downloads if you didn't move. That's energy consumption. And here we go. Okay, so now we have energy consumption. That's like data for European Union in 2023. I will also share the source. And we want to convert these into a dot, sorry, channel with the dot2. So let's do. Now let's use like channel per column. And first row also is names. Now, those are the values in percentage, but what we need to create our like pie, our cake, is degrees. So let's use an expression that expression sop, actually expression chop. Let's go here in expression, and so we have me.inputval is like every sample. So to convert percentage to degrees, we can do like times 360 and then divided by 100. So now the sum of these values will be 360, and we can use it to create our cake. Now let's create a null, and then let's convert it back to a dot with a chop2, like this. So now we can see like the size of each piece of the cake in degrees. And now I will show how we can use this data. Let's create a circle SOP. I will, let's open the window and use as archetype closed arc. And we need to use these parameters, begin angle and end angle, to like cut the cake based on degrees. So instead of using 360 here, we will use the first value in our table, which is 41.96. Then let's copy paste this circle one. And for the second piece, so we can copy paste 41.96 in the begin angle. So it will start from like here, and then it will cover a space which should be like 86 degrees around here. So these, to create these, we can go into the parameter end angle and add 86.292. Okay, and that's the process we need to create all the all the pieces. Now you can also do this, but I will show a way to make all this automated. So in case we change data, like all the slicing will be recreated automatically. And let's just take a look of how it will look like. So I will add a merge and add these two. So for every piece we add, we'll like progressively complete the cake. So to do this like dynamically, we will write some Python code. I didn't find a way to do just operators. So we can create a chop execute here, and we can drag this null one here into the chops, and then we're going to use the on value change. So this means that every time something change here, the code we will write here will be triggered. So we can get rid of the comments we don't need, and we can start writing some code here. So what we need is, like, let's take a look here what we are doing. We need to have some values for arc angles, for the begin angle and the end angle. So for each like slice, we need to have like a pair of values. So we can create two tables, table that, like this, and I will call them begin angles and end angles, like um, like here. And then we want to populate these tables with the values we need here. So now let's take a look of how it works. Our goal is to populate these two tables with the correct values. Actually, let me call these also tables, table and table, so we can distinguish better later. Then let's see. First of all, we want to grab these values from this dot and print it. We can do this with the list comprehension. If you don't know, just follow. List comprehension is just like a loop inside one single line. So we can do like values equals. Then we have to write something inside square bracket, and that will be want to grab the samples inside our dot. Channel is the dot, so this is the channel. And we want to grab all the samples inside this channel. So we can do this, like channel y, sorry, channel I, for I in, and then we want to write like the range, which is the length of this channel. So like the number of samples, which is 7. And we can do just like this, taking range, len, channel. Then we can print it, print values. Now to show this, I will split my screen using this button. And on this right side, I will use this textport and dots. And that will show our Python output. And so we can see when we have some errors. Now to trigger this chop execute, so as you can see, it's triggered with on value change. So anytime a value changes in this dot, this code will be triggered. So we can use this little trick and go to this dot2 1, bypass it with this button. So now there is a change, but there is nothing also. And now if I click it again, it will see a change, and this code will be triggered. So now it's simply like printing all these values. And these values are our like angles here, which represent like the size of each cake slice. And now we can see how we can populate these tables. For this, we can use a loop. Okay, let's go inside the chop execute, and we can get rid of the print. We don't need it. And we can use a loop now. It should be 4 values in val. And then the name, actually, we need to call the table first. So like op begin angles table. I will copy paste it here, and I will assign it with a name. So I will call it again the same name. So begin angle stable equals OP begin angle stable. So for values in val, then again begin angle stable, append row, then inside parentheses, I will add a square bracket, val. And so if we do this, every time it will append new values, and we don't want this. So we can also add this line. So begin angle stables, clear. So now every time it will empty the table first and then populate it with values. Let's try. So we can go again to the dat2. I forgot something here. Actually, I have a typo. It's for val in values, of course. And now if I bypass twice, I don't have error, and I have populated my table. And now let's populate, let's populate with the correct values. So first we need to create empty lists for these two tables. We'll go here, I will call it begin angles equals empty list, and then also end angles equals empty list. So now we want to create the correct values inside. Now let's think about it. For the first slice, we need 0 and 41, but here we don't have 0, so we need to add it. And I will use a little trick. So we'll move all these backward, and here I will add an insert that, and in the contents I will put just 0. So that will be always the starting point. Then I will move it back again to a dat2, and this is all values, so channel per column and all values. So we have the 0 now, and then an add again. And then in the chop execute, we need to modify these chops from null1 to null2. So we can grab this here. Now we have everything we need. Okay, now we can create the correct values for each slice. So for the first slice, we can take like from our table, from our table, like 0 and 41. And this will go here, 0 and 41. That's what we have done here already. But then for the following slices, let's take the second one. For the begin angle, we want to take the previous end angle. So here in the circle 1, the end angle is 41, and 41 will be also the begin angle of the next slice. So we can do this by creating a new variable here. I will call it end angles, sorry, last angle. And this will be end angles. So this one, 1. There is actually an error here. So it's actually end angles. And also, of course, we need to grab the index 0 because the one doesn't exist yet. And then we can do the same for the second slice. So let's copy paste all this. And let's think about it. Take this, actually this one. So the first, the first begin angle will be also the last angle. Okay. So we'll copy paste it here inside the append. Then in end angles, we want to add these, so last angle plus, and that will be the value of the next slice, which is 86, and which is also here the values at index 2. So I can do last angle plus values 2. And then last angle, I will just update it with the index 1. And now, of course, we don't want to do this for each slice. We want to use a loop. And for this, so let's write it here. I will use the enumerate function. So we can do like for idx as index and then slice value. So like the value of the next slice in enumerate values. So we take all the values and then we like basically apply this. So we can copy paste this here. And then, so let's consider that we don't have this code, we'll delete it. So we still don't have the last angle and I will hard code last angle equals 0. So it will work at the first iteration. Then last angles is fine. And here we can also do like slice value and last angle. We will update it with and angles -1. Let's correct this little typo. Here it's -1. And another thing we can fix is that values here is taking in consideration all the values. Wait, let me pass like this. But we don't need this 0 anymore. So actually, can do the following. And in values, we start from the first, like the index 1. So we do 1 semicolon like this. And then we can we can test by pass data2 twice. And now we have everything we need. So we have for each slice the start and the end angle, and we can use them to create all the cake, like the full cake. Let's start creating the slices. To create the slices, I will instead of using just circles, I will create a geometry, put it here, and we'll call it slice 0. Then we can go inside and we can get rid of the torus and create a circle. Now we can go up again, and here in the slice 0, I will go to right click and go to customize component. And here I will create the parameters. So we can go here and create a begin angle, which is a float, and also a end angle, float again. So down, if I check here in my geometry in custom, I will see my 2 new parameters. Now we can go inside the geo, and here we can go to the arc angles. Actually, we need closed arc or a sliced arc, sorry. Let me try. Yes. And in the arc begin and end angles, we can refer to these new parameters. So here I will write parent, parenthesis, par begin angle. And notice that with custom parameters, it's always the first is capital letter and all the other will be small letters. And here same will be parent, parenthesis, par, and angle. Okay. Now let's go up. Also, we need to switch on render and display so we can see. Now we go up and we can modify these two. And I will use now these two tables so that we can finally make use of them. So for the begin angle, I will drag this here, this, and then we need to specify the row. That will be row 0 and column 0. But we don't want to use this 0, that's like hard coded. We can use the name of the operator. So it will be me dot digits, which is also 0. If that is 1, we'll take value 1, which is 49 here. So let's call it 0 back. And the same we do for the end angle. So we can copy paste this. Actually, better to drag this end angles table here. And again, we can copy this part me.digits 0 like this. And so that's the first slice, like we have here. And now, instead of creating a geometry for each slice, we will use a replicator. So let's create the replicator comp. That will allow us to recreate any operator we want as many times as we want. The master operator to recreate is slice 0, and the prefix will be also slice. And we need to specify like how many times to recreate, and the number is like the number of slices of the cake, let's say. So we can use one of these two tables also. So we can grab it here. It will use like the number of rows. Now they are recreated here, so let's move it a bit further. So in the layout origin, I will try like 1000. That's okay. And also, I generally prefer to use vertical, so we have everything here. So those are all the slices of our cake. And we can take a look of them, of course. So we can use like the default TouchDesigner setup. So we'll create a render top, and ambient light, and the camera as usual. So now we have our full cake. So if I stop one of them, you'll see the pieces. And now we can create the colors. To create the colors, I will do it here, and we can create like, let's say, a palette or like a temporary palette. I will create a base here. Let's call it color palette. And go inside, and here I will create some just constant tops. Now we have, I think, 8, so we can create 8 for now. We can also add more if we want in the future. And I will just add some colors. I usually like pastels, but you can do whatever you want. Okay, once we have all of them, or actually, let's select all of them, right click, sorry, just open the page with a P, and let's use resolution 1 and 1 for all of them. So it's like 1 pixel. Then we create a layout, and I will connect all of them to the layout, this. And in the layout, we need to use, that's correct, use scale resolution on, like this. And so now we have basically 8 pixels aligned horizontally. And we can convert them to chop with top 2. Oops. Top 2. And then we create a out. Okay, so if we go up, now we can grab this. So let's use it. So let's use a null. So now we have our channel, like our color channels. And then in this, I go again to slice 0, right click, customize component, and I will create RGB, which is here, RGBA also. I'll call it color and add par. We'll put it below. Now we can populate these using this new channel we created. So like this. And then, like we did before, we need to specify first the number of sample and then the channel. Actually, the other way around. So we do the channel. So this will be R, and then the number of sample, which will be again me.digits. Then we can copy paste these in the other lines. Oops. And modify this G, B, A. Okay. Now we go inside this slice 0, and I will create a constant mat, and we can use these new parameters for the colors. It will be like parent, parenthesis, par. Actually, let's take a look how it is called. Let's go up. Will color R, color G, and so on. So it will be par dot color R. You can copy paste this in the other, and also in the alpha. It will be color R, color G, color B, oops, and color A. So we go up and go into render page, and here we will specify this constant. It will be dot slash constant 1. And now it shows the color. So we can go to the replicator 1 and press recreate all operators. So now all of our slices have a color. And we can also see it here in the cake, which already looks a bit nice. And the next step I will do is to create, if you want, like black borders for each slice. That's pretty quick to do. I will copy paste this slice and put it here. I will call it like slice border 0. And then I create a replicator again. And here in the master operator, I will use this slice border, and also in the operator prefix slice border. So by table again, we can use these end angles table, and the layout origin would be like 1200. Okay, and grid vertical. Okay, and now we go inside the replicator 1, sorry, the slice border 0, and get rid of the constant one, and I will add a line mat, and this will be black, of course. We can go up in slice border 0, and the material will be line 1. Now it's clearly too big, so I will modify this viewport into network editor, so we can take a look at our output here. Okay, and let's go inside slice border 0. I will modify these and change the width. Okay, now that's happening because, like, if I go inside this and press W, that's how, like, the circle is made. So we need to take care of this. Actually, we just need to modify these from sliced arc to closed arc. This is it. Now if I go up and go to replicator, chew, I will recreate all of them. So now we have also the borders clean.